Blessings, everyone. Good morning. It's about 5 something a.m. And I got so upset a few minutes ago. And I said, you know what? I didn't do my video yesterday. I'm going to do my video now because I really feel that I need to voice my feelings to make me feel better. And at this moment, I have no one to chat with. So I'm chatting with you. Anyway, I'm watching a show. It's paused. And it's basically a show about families, a poor family trading spaces with a rich family. And the the rich people went into the poor people's house. And the very first dinner, they only had four fish sticks and some french fries. So his two children had two fish sticks apiece and some french fries, and he had a little bit of french fries, and that was all the food they had in their refrigerator. So you you now have two children that are accustomed to having food. They couldn't have any food, and the cabinets were bare. I was like, oh my goodness. And this is just the normal thing for poor people. The rich people's home now have a family with about five children. One is a newborn, and all the children are minors. They go into the rich man's house and they're excited because he has five bathrooms and six bedrooms and a game room and all of this stuff. But this man is a businessman, so they went to his business and had dinner. The dinner was $100 and something, and they didn't even have to pay for it. And they're all excited. It's like, oh, we're gonna come here again tomorrow. And when I heard the man say that, I'm like, I understand excitement, but that's an abuse of someone's finances because you don't have $100 and something to sit down in your own restaurant and eat at people food like that. Then they get an allowance every week. The poor people basically had pittance to survive on. Even the children sitting at the table, couldn't imagine living on that for 7 days. The young girl made a comment, about how hard it is for them. But the poor people have an abundance to shop with. So the mother takes her baby shopping. Where does she go? Into the Nike store to buy her children some clothes, bought her children sneakers and the Nike jumpsuit. And I'm looking at her like, oh my goodness. And then she went to a spa, got her body up and everything, clothes. They went on a nice dinner. But while they did all of that, the woman went home and the daughter was so excited to have matching sneakers. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And the only thing I could think about was that daughter when she returns back to school and those kids see how poor she is at home to where she finally got a pair of sneakers on the back of someone else. So I'm sitting here like, oh my goodness. And as a parent, having a child, not prepared to have a child, and having a poor, growing up life, I did a great job for my daughter living on Poorville Lane because trust me, I did. But I always said, I don't believe children want to be born into poor families. That's why I said I am not having any more children. Now, I can't have any more now, but I don't understand how people don't stop and think about how these children feel, especially going to public school where other families have a little bit more and other families have a little bit less. The millionaire, you want to know how he got to be a millionaire? He was cleaning backed up toilets. And that's how he became a millionaire. So you are talking about someone who started from the bottom. That's a job that most people in my neighborhood won't even take. So that speaks volumes. And then the poor man, if I'm not mistaken, started crying because he's like, this man is really showing up for his family and he's trading time for money. And and I was so thankful to hear him say that because this morning I got a message from a friend of mine and said, be careful. And I'm doing nothing wrong. The only thing I'm trying to do is get my life together. And those are the comments that are making me wonder, what do you see? that I don't see, to where you say, be careful. I'm doing nothing but trying to earn, get myself together. They cut my, I got a letter maybe 2 days ago. They cut my Medicaid off. So rather than flip out and say all this, I said, I have to figure out where I'm going to get $90 to pay my psychiatrist so I can go to the doctor. And that's the first thing I thought about. I didn't call anyone and break down and cry. I'm like, oh, his mother. And I didn't do any of that. Now I am gonna call and see, why they cut my Medicaid off. But if they cut my Medicaid off and my Medicaid has to go, I have to figure it out. And all I'm gonna do is try to find a solution. But I'm not gonna let it bring me down to where I'm cursing and screaming about the government. I have to figure out how to take care of my life. But I was sitting here looking at this video, and I started crying. I had to get up and walk away from the TV because I couldn't believe how this woman went into the Nike store. She came out with I think a Michael Kors purse, and I wouldn't have done it. I could not have taken those people's money and done that. Even if they would spend their money that way, I wouldn't have been able to do it. So I'm hoping that when they go back and see the video, maybe the video does not air where they live, because maybe I'm wrong, and if I'm wrong, feel free to tell me, because y'all know I am very open to communication. But how dare you take your and then while they were interviewing the poor family, they already said they were in dire straits, and then turn around, they had the baby, and the baby was in their arms, and they say, now they can't do this, they can't do that. But if I was an adult and I saw that video where I was that baby, it would make me feel a certain type of way. And then I'm saying to myself, this is exactly why children, at times get bullied in school, because I'm gonna keep it real. There are some Lifetime movies that show you what happened in certain neighborhoods, and those girls are vicious. Those girls are vicious. When they go to the locker and they see the poor kid, those girls are vicious. You know what I'm saying? And they never put their hands on someone, but they are vicious with their mouth, and it is horrifying to see. But I'm so thankful that it is exposed to the world, because it also shows what the principal of the school is thinking when the children get away with stuff like that. That's why I don't promote violence, but that's why I promote beating the bully down. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's one of the reasons why I'm thankful. I come from a family where you are taught to defend yourself, not to start trouble, not be an instigator, not be a bully. Defend yourself, because some of these children's mouth is very untidy. And I kid you not, had I ever gone to a school where those type of girls were, my hand would have rang right around all that hair, and I would have bucked them up in the locker, and I would have beat them till Jesus came and got them. People's mouth is a weapon that this may not. Nope. But I feel bad, and guess what? I want to see the end of the show. I want to see how those people feel going back home with their family that they can't feed. This man goes to work. He didn't finish school. I don't even think he got a elementary school education, and he's doing the best he can to provide. But what can you provide without even a basic education? And then I'm saying to myself, this woman has full control over her body. Every woman has fought for the rights to do what they want with their body, but you're having one kid after another when you already can't feed the ones that you have. That, my dear, is not right. That is not right. And I can tell you, I know what it feels like to be born into a poor family, because I was born into a poor family. I remember eating fat bat for dinner. If you don't know what fat bat is, it's a piece of pork, a little piece of seasoning that you put in something like some string beans or something. I know every bit, and I am still poor, baby. maybe. Yes, I am. But there is no way in hell. Absolutely not. This has to stop. Stop having children in poor children. And I'm not saying it for all the reasons that a lot of people who are up there would say it, because they're focused on one method of feeding those children. I'm not even thinking about that, because that is how I eat at this moment, and that's how I need to eat, because I'm trying, I'm doing the best I can. But you have to know what you have control over, and you have to know what you're going to do to another person that did not actually be born. Nobody wants to be born and struggle. And it's not right to say Tommy's going to get the shoes because he's going to school, and Sarah's going to get this because she's going. No. Everybody needs to be able to wear shoes. Everybody's feet is growing. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I and this is really not a sad story, and this is not a poor story. This is a me story. I remember when my daughter was young, I never was able to replace my sneakers. So my daughter would get sneakers. Of course, she was growing, so my daughter would get sneakers. But I was not running to buy Nikes and all that other stuff. I was going to the discount store, which was not the poor people store, but it was a discount store, and I was getting my daughter what she was able to fit. And I always took her with me so she could help pick out what she wanted to wear, because she always had this pink thing, this girly thing. So I always took her with me, let her try on a few sneakers and let her pick out the sneakers. But when I lived in different places, I had an abundance of clothing, and I kid you not, there was a thrift store. The thrift store was so well maintained, it looked like a department store. So guess who was in that store on a regular? And my daughter got to pick her clothes that she wanted to wear. And she was wearing designer clothes, not because I went in there looking for them. It happens to be what was on the rack. So I didn't have to deal with all of that. You don't have this, you don't have this. Actually, it turned out to where some of the neighbors were waiting for what my daughter outgrew so that their kids could get it. It got to a point where I realized I was being abused, because they weren't my friends. They were only pretending to be my friends, and then they would ask me, well, do you have this? And you know how I am. And when I realized I was being abused financially, I had to put the brakes on it and resume my life of staying by myself and all that other stuff. But I am thankful, and in all now, my daughter, 31 years old, wishes she had a sibling. I have heard the comments, I don't even have a sibling, and you know what I'm saying? And she does have a sibling, but he's not my kid, and they're the same age, and she never met him, and stuff like that. So that's kind of horrible, but that's a whole different story and everything. But it is hard, because I wish she could have had a sibling, but I am thankful that I didn't have to split what little I had between two. And then one thing that I was so proud of watching this show, between both the families, none of the children were fighting. None of them. They were all kind to each other. They were all loving to each other. None of them were fighting. All of that jumping. Even the young children, the young children in the rich family were in the poor family, and they had rags, and they were washing down the couch. And I'm sitting here looking. The young girl was trying to figure out how to use the washing machine, and I'm looking at the fundamentals that these children have, although they don't have anything. But I am horrified at the fact that these two children were so excited to get a Nike item on their clothes. And just imagine only having one Nike suit and all of the rest of your fam your look like this. So how often are you going to wear this to make you feel? And another thing that got me, why would someone who has no money show their children that you need a name in order to be feeling the way you? No. You need clean and proper and well maintained. But I was horrified, and I want to see the rest of the show, but I started crying. And I'm a freaking water baby, boys and girls. I'm a freaking water baby. I'm tired of crying. Sick and tired of crying. But I'm like, oh my goodness. But boys and girls, I absolutely feel so good. I feel so good. But I'm gonna tell y'all something. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos. I said one thing I'm going to do is put my TV on YouTube, let these videos run, because these people need to earn. They need to earn. But I am so proud of myself. I got a blessing yesterday when I found out a source of relief for myself. So I am thankful. But you know what? I got a letter in the mail for $560 in parking tickets that I did not get on my own. Uh, they're in my name. Let's stay here now. But I didn't park anywhere to get those tickets. But I got a notice that they're going to boot my car. So when I tell you how thankful I am for this parking garage that I'm in, but I needed to leave my home yesterday, and it was 30 degrees, and I couldn't leave my home because I can't drive. Why? Because I can't park my car on the street. Why? Because of neglect of responsibilities for other people that took advantage of my name. So the only thing I can do now is figure it out. And I will figure it out. I did contact one person, and they said they were going to try to make one of the payments, and the payment didn't get made. But I am going to uh, figure it out the best way I can. And I had no other choice but to make a bracelet yesterday and put it on eBay, try to see if I can sell it, to use that money. It will only get me about $2 and change, but I will save it up, and I will get that 560, and I will pay those tickets. But they take your driver's license, and there's no way I'm driving without a driver's license. I'm not even trying to get that type of ticket. I don't want bracelets on my wrist. Now these I don't mind. This I don't mind, but those I'm allergic to those, boys and girls. But I want to tell you something. My apartment is normally blazing with heat. Now I'm sitting here with a short sleeve shirt on, and it is chilly in here. Something happened where there's a massive draft, but in the hallway, the main hallway where the elevator is, it is freezing. When I say freezing, it is the same temperature as it is outside, as well as my bathroom. But thank you, I think summer something, forgot. I put a blanket at the bathroom, and I closed the bathroom. So although I have a little chill in this room, I'm thankful. Now, my front door, it was so cold in my kitchen, I couldn't even cook yesterday. So I found some in my pantry. I found some curtains. I put up a rod at my front door, and I put the curtains, and then I put a towel at the bottom, and it was able to stop the massive draft. So there is no abundance of heat in here, but the drafts that I didn't realize was in here, even though that's how bad the heat was. But now they turned the heat down clearly, which I'm thankful for, because there was no reason that we needed that much heat in here. So, And when I tell you, one of the blessings living in low income housing is the freaking heat. It's the heat, because you don't have to go to sleep cold, but you will go to sleep hot, and it's uncomfortable to sleep like that. But I'm sitting here now. I have to open up a window, so that's not even a given. 0 degrees doesn't matter. A window will be open in here because I need air. I need air. So I'm so thankful. But this room that I'm sleeping in is getting. There are times I come in here and all I smell is cigarettes, as if I'm in here smoking. So I put a note out there yesterday. I did a note with a little ashtray and cigarettes. And I made a little, be kind to your neighbors. And I mentioned that, the smell is going through the vents, through the walls, under the doors, and it causes health issues. But I noticed this morning I didn't wake up with that scent in my room. So someone out of the 3 people that are smoking in right here, someone saw the note and took kindness to, and I'm sure they know it was me, and because we didn't say more than hello in the elevator. So I know they know it was me, and that's okay. As long as I took the kindness route, I didn't knock on anyone's door, I didn't pinpoint, I didn't call the main office, I didn't do any of that. I just wrote a nice thing, be kind to your neighbors, and put it on the thing. So now people are aware that it is a situation. But oh my goodness, boys and girls, your girl has been tired. I have been freaking sleeping. Narcolepsy is no joke. My friend has narcolepsy and insomnia. So she takes medicine to stay awake, and then at night she takes medicine to sleep. But I'm not gonna lie, boys and girls, I want to be awake as long as I can. So what I have been doing is, when I get that feeling, I just go straight to my bed. But it's so funny because I am just out, out, out. So I've gotten quite tired of spreading my bed. Quite tired of spreading my bed. But I said, you know what? I have to take a stock of my life, and I have to live with these things I have to live with. And I am definitely not going on any narcolepsy medication. Not whatsoever. I am not going to be popping all these prescription medications to help me. This is how I was born. I have to live and work it out. But in my mailbox, there is some type, you know what? Let me go downstairs and check my mailbox and see if I have it, because I wanted Tina to see it. Hold on. And yes, my package was in the mailbox. But, and they got 2 of them in there. Woo. Woo. I gotta take the curtain out every time I open the door. Whew. So now it's gonna get a little warmer. But I went to Temu, and I ordered the trimmings. You know that thing with the foam, and I ordered one for the top of the door and one for the bottom of the door, and then I ordered the piece that goes down into the trimming. But I ended up ordering the vent covers, and I'm not sure. I need to ask permission. I know that, but I don't see them that often. So in this hallway, the vent is from the outside. So I ordered a vent cover, and I'm going to put it over there, because that vent by my front door is horrible. So I'm also going to put a vent cover on all of my vents inside of here. Absolutely. I have them taped with duct tape right now, but that air is horrible, boys and girls. But I purchased these pills because I did a research on IBS, and for me, with the symptoms that I was going through, which was the excessive gas, the bomb that was gonna kill somebody. Yes, so I got some digestive enzyme complex, and this is what I researched and came up with for myself. So let me see what this one is now. And I'm hoping that it helps me because I can't eat eggs. Mayonnaise, eggs, and mayonnaise makes me sick, but there's no egg white in mayonnaise. There's only egg yolks. But I know I'm allergic to egg whites. So I have been making a mistake every time I go to the store. I keep buying eggs and I can't eat the eggs and I keep forgetting. So I purchased 2 dozen eggs, and today I'm having eggs because I want to see if this is going to help me. So, they're both digestive enzymes. So I got my 2 for those. I ordered 2 months. Now this one has 120 capsules. I'm only going to take 1, so it's going to end up being more than a month, but there's no way I was going to buy 1 bottle. You always have to have enough to keep yourself going, to have a pattern to see, especially when you take herbals. So I have another package coming. That one is oil of peppermint. Oil of peppermint, and that's supposed to help open up my intestines that were closed off in some type of way due to my gastric bypass. Because when I went back and I thought about it, this situation that I'm dealing with came when I had my gastric bypass. So there goes that. So I'm gonna go and read if I should take this on an empty stomach, if I should take it on a full stomach, or whatever the case may be. But I'm desperate. I'm desperate for some freaking eggs. MJ, your envelope is gonna go out possibly tomorrow. I'm waiting for Sema to send me her address because she was the other broke girl giveaway picker, and I don't want to go down in that freezing hallway to mail this and then to mail Judy's envelope and then mail. No, honey, I'm going one time, so I need Summer's address so I can get these in the mail. Okay, there goes that. So now it's time. Now it's time to put some eggs in this pan. I'm going to have an egg sandwich, and I get terribly nauseous eating eggs. But boys and girls, there comes a time when you got to give yourself what you want, and I need a little bit of eggs. Yes. Woo! I haven't had a fried egg in a very long time. Now I have to go see if I can take this on an empty stomach or not. It says to take it with the meal and something that I'm okay. I haven't been able to eat onions because onions cause me HELL. I can't believe I love black pepper. I can't believe it. I'm gonna put a little bit of onion on my egg. A little bit of onion, although I'm gonna see, because I like onion, because onion and garlic is terrible for me. But it says to take it before food or with food to help digest. So I'm gonna take one. Damn. so thankful. Boys and girls, let me tell you what happened. I have been asked on a number of occasions about herbals, and I'm gonna tell you the truth. I actually, okay, let's just say my ashwagandha. At one point, I had over a year's worth of ashwagandha because my insurance card allowed me to get it. Although it was an abuse of finances, the amount of money that it cost, because it was like $22, $23 a bottle at the time. Now you can find them at CVS for like $30 a bottle, but I found a blessing spot to get them under like $10 a bottle. And when I can, I use a loan that I get, and I just get, sometimes $30 worth. So I had at that time an abundance, and when someone would come to me, oh, this, and this, I would give them the bottle to try, because you can't just give somebody a couple pills out the bottle. And then I noticed that people would, then they come back and come back and come back. So now I basically said, I can't give anyone a bottle of, especially when I hear you took it and you felt better and it helped you with this, but you haven't been able to get any more, knowing that you have the funds to get more. When I'm basically owing, paying a tiny bit of interest to make sure that my mental health and everything is going good. So I said I can't do it anymore, and I'm absolutely not going to be able to do it. Now, I will show my bottle and I will tell you what you can get if you need it, but there are people that are truly taking advantage of me, and I have to take accountability for the fact that I am letting them do what they're doing. And it did hurt me at one point, but it doesn't hurt me anymore, because I have to accept you for who you are, because I want you to accept me for who I am. And I have to say no. I have to say no, because I absolutely, now I have under $1,500 to pay on this loan. Now the good thing is, it is December 7th now, and last month all of December's bill was paid. So all I have to pay now is January. But I got this ticket I got to worry about paying. So anything I was trying to do now for the loan to get me to February and be ahead of myself has to take a back step. But on that bill, the interest is what I'm removing by making sure I pay it early. But it is what it is. What? It is what it is. What? But the only thing I can say is, do the best you can with what you have. And that's it. And try to keep it on the side of doing what's right to make it easier for you not to have to make up for bad behavior down the line. Down the line. You know what I'm saying? Because I am really tired of seeing some of these videos. Some of these children are watching adults around them just do things. Like yesterday, I watched a video where a mother and daughter were shoplifting, and the daughter walked past, said something, but it was the mother that got, out of shape, talking about, I'm a FD. But you just did all of this in front of your child. And I'm like, oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. But there was a girl that was evicted from her apartment because she didn't pay her rent, and she did this, and she got caught, and she got busted, and she got all of this. And I'm hoping and praying that because it looks like she's monetized on YouTube, I hope she changes the format of what she's doing and use the fact that she's now getting a YouTube paycheck to restructure and do something, with that. You may say this egg is cooked, but I am allergic to egg whites. So the egg whites have to absolutely be solidified, and that yolk as well. So I have to cook my egg a little longer. Plus, I put it down low. You know what I'm saying? I actually wish I can eat it with some of the yolk. I really wish I could, but I can't. So let me get my my bread, but I'm sick and tired of putting my hand in this freaking water. Boys and girls, let me tell you something. I have my water running very tiny, just little drips. My mother's faucet runs on a constant because she's constantly washing her hands. But my hands are raw. I wash my hands too much. My hands are raw. Like they feel like sandpaper. So I'm looking for my bread. And I'm gonna tell you something. My hand does not go in my bread unless my hands are washed. This is something that if I go to someone's house and say they offer me a meal, if it's a sandwich, I can't eat it. I can't eat it because people have a terrible habit of just walking from anywhere and then just go stick their hand in their bread. You know what I'm saying? I have a cousin that will not take bread. She can't eat bread from anyone other than herself. Now let me show y'all something because I just got a little worried about this bread a few minutes ago, boys and girls. This bread is artisan bread, so I thought this was molding, but this is, I guess, flour. But looks good. I'm going to put turkey with this egg. I'm going to clean out my refrigerator today. And you hear that sizzling? I already turned the stove off because we're in this group, and people will turn off the stove and then they put their little pieces in it, and it still cooks. Now, if I would have put the top on it, because that's why the top is there, to help it finish cooking. That's just one of the frugal ways that people are mentioning how they are saving a little bit of electricity. And I did a very good, oh man. I did a very good test for myself. I stopped using the kitchen light. This is the light that comes in the ceiling. And I put in a LED light, and my light bill went down. So I'm trying to remember, stop flipping the switch and use my LED lamp that you see I brought in my kitchen. See, that's my LED light. So my actual light bill, let me wash my hands real quick. Now I'm going to turn off the water because although it was dripping, that's a wasteful thing to do. And I don't normally do that, so I just want you to know. But when I'm cooking, I'm going to always wash my hands. And then I have to take this towel down because you can't just keep recycling the same towel you wash your hands with. Anyway, when I looked into my bill that I've been waiting for for a while now, my actual bill, my actual usage was $35. But the bill was $119, I think it was, because $83 point something was what they charged me to bring me my electricity. And our electricity comes from Canada, but this is a disgrace. This is a disgrace. So what I plan on doing is going to one of the sites that I love, and I'm going to buy one of those generators that is a portable generator. It's not too big. And then in the summertime, I'm going to go outside to probably just sit somewhere in my parked car. I'm going to let it charge on the side of my car. Probably go to a park or somewhere there's access to a seat. And I'm going to let the sun generate the power in this thing, and then I'm going to do what other people are doing, coming home, plugging in their TV, their refrigerators, their deep freezers, these things. But I need to see if I can plug in my air conditioner. Boom! Yes, that's what I need to see, because I'm watching a lot of videos. Oh, beautiful. I'm watching a lot of videos, and people have purchased them to come home and plug up their refrigerator. They actually put it on their kitchen counter, plug up their refrigerator. Some people have plugged up, large items in their home. I need to see if I can plug up at least an air conditioner, because in the summertime, uh, this will be sealed off by then, and then I'll be able to seal off those things, and then get some more areas to keep my air conditioner in here. But if I'm going to be in the craft room and the living room, because I do plan on most likely sleeping in the living room, because this living room has a 10,000 BTU air conditioner, and then I have two fans that sit on the floor that I plan on pushing some of the air into that room so I can use one air conditioner. But if I can run that generator thing on one air conditioner, that's what I want to see if I can do, because that air conditioner runs me almost two and hundred and change in the summertime. But I will not be able to give up access to my air conditioner because I have health issues, and in order to accommodate my comfort in the summer, I have to work it out in the winter. So, and one of the things that makes me, a little whatever, is when I read that people don't use their air conditioner because they can't afford it. And then some people, like yesterday, this lady says she doesn't have her heat on. She wears a snowsuit in her house. But I'm under the strange confusion, because if having a house is so beneficial to all of these things, how are you able to live house poor and have children in the house wearing snowsuits? Because that's not good. In the way I'm thinking, if I'm thinking wrong, then please let me know. But there's no way I'm going to buy a house, struggle to pay it off, stress myself with the mortgage, and not be able to put heat in it. I absolutely can't do that. I would have to move somewhere with my small amount of Social Security and find me a rental that I can actually have some heat in, because heat to me is a necessity. It's a necessity. And I'm only saying that because even with some of the housing, you have access to purchasing a home, but purchasing a home that you can't heat is not, I don't, there's no fundamental for me to understand. And I've spoken to rich people that say if you cannot afford heat in your home, you have no business with a house. And the roof come off and the furnace and all the others, that is horrible. That's horrible. And I actually knew a girl who lived in a house and they had no water, the toilet didn't work, and it was horrible. But just say you have a house and then you can't bring people in because you don't have heat or you don't have running water. You don't have a house, you have a shell. And maybe I'm wrong to say it, and I don't necessarily like that light in my video. Ah! No, I don't. Now, there's one problem. I can't really eat this sandwich dry without anything on it. So, what do I put on it? I got an egg. Oh! That's what I put on it. Ketchup and hot sauce. Ketchup and hot sauce. And I normally would toast my bread, and I'm not doing that. Melted cheese. That's cheddar cheese. I never made this sandwich before. Never made this sandwich before. I got a lot of turkey because I got no beef. I absolutely bought no beef this month. Beef that I normally was paying $9.99 for went up to $16. So I said, "Ooh, looky there, $16.99." Nope, absolutely not. So I am not one to like turkey, but turkey was affordable. So I got it. No. When I saw people on the group saying that beef was expensive, I didn't realize that it had gone up so much. Nah, I don't need your beef that bad. Absolutely not. And one thing with me, I will tell anybody, honey, I eat to survive. So I'm not really looking for those fish eggs and all that other stuff on my table. I want to know that the belly full. Yes, boys and girls. Mm, 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 It's all I need. I'm hoping that these pills work on my stomach. Because I sure don't feel like going through no nauseous. But I don't know if they help with the nauseousness that this egg is going to give me. But please, somebody pray for me. So it's good. Mm, 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 mm. What I love the most is that it's piping hot. I love my food hot. But there's one thing that I have to say. You may not know it unless you had gastric bypass and your stomach does not growl. Sometimes you don't know when you're starving and when you're hungry. I know when I'm starving because when I eat, I don't have the awareness to stop and pause, swallow, and let flow. So that's why I'm glad I'm standing here talking, because a few minutes ago I got that feeling. So because I ate before 8 o'clock last night and I went to bed early last night, I was in bed sleep before 9, put it that way. I guess my body is maybe starving. Although people fast for longer than that, I can't fast for longer than that. I get a little uneasy. My head gets a little floaty if I'm hungry. This is delicious. Absolutely. Yesterday, I opened up a can of chicken, and I took one of my salads that's in the bowl. I put the chicken in it, in the salad, and then I used my salad dressing, and my salad was so good. So that's what I'm gonna have. Like now, it's a little bit. It's going on 6 a.m. The sun is rising. Oh, the sky is so beautiful. Oh, the sky is so beautiful. Oh, look at that. About maybe 7:30, I'll be in the bed taking my nap. But I just had a person message me, so I'll have to get back to them. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing if you choose. If you choose. But, boys and girls, I'm thinking of sending Sema some greeting cards that I wanted. I don't want to throw any more cards away. So, Sema, if you see this video, please let me know if I can send you a little bit of greeting cards. Thank you so much. And don't say yes if you don't want them, because I will not send them. You only say yes if you want them. Don't feel obligated like I'm going to cry. No. I'm asking if I can send you some of, a few good cards. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.